So I'm just trying to work on this lawnmower here, this ride on, and what I've got here is an issue with the steering where it will actually slip. Just going to do it. There we go. So it's just jumping a tooth. When you're trying to drive it, it will just like slip a lot depending on where you are. You can see it there. So this is the steering mechanism. I've taken out the fuel tank goes here. I've taken it out. Battery sits there. I've also taken it out obviously so I can get to this plate, and there's the mechanism right there. Let's try and get a closer look. You can see it's just like a gear there with, you can see there's quite a bit of play in there. So both the main gear tooth there is shifting sideways a bit, and so is the shaft. They're both shifting, and so they're both slipping. So I need to have a look at this and see what I can do to fix that. Alright, so what I'm doing, I'm taking the shaft out here. Just going to take this bolt out. I've already taken the nut off it. And that should allow me to move the shaft once I've loosened off the bottom part, which is down there. And I'm going to try and lift that actuation assembly off. I think the steering wheel part is actually kind of held in place. We'll see how we go with that. Okay, as you can see, it's got the steering wheel off. Here it is. It's pulled out. There's where the bolt was going through the shaft there. It's got like a little bushing in here. The rest seems all fine. So that means this can now be moved around more freely, and I can dismantle this. It's got 2 bolts here which I've already loosened off. I haven't taken them off yet. I'll get those out, and I think this piece will then come off and I'll have a closer look at it, see what we're dealing with. So I was wrong, I took those bolts out and that mechanism didn't come off. That's still attached. So I think that is just holding the mechanism together. So what I think I actually need to do instead is take this whole plate out. That also involves me taking off this arm here, the steering, because it goes onto the plate just there. So I need to take this off so I can actually detach it. But it looks like it's got nuts underneath the plate there rather than being like studs. So not easy to get to. Need to get some more spanners. Okay, so I took out all these bolts here, these 2 there and that one there. Plate wouldn't move. So I loosened off this bolt here, plate wouldn't move. Tried to loosen this one if one undo. Doesn't appear to go right through anyway. So I was thinking, well, why doesn't the plate move? I found out there's some more bolts under there. So I've taken those out. Those are the ones that seem to hold the plate in. So let's just try lifting it out. I haven't tried yet. It's moving. That's something. It's the most luck I've had so far. Wow, that is really solid in there. Yeah, it's finally out. So I better get these nuts that I dropped. I was trying to get the thing apart. Only one missing, I think. No, there's the other one. Also, I'm going to have to give this a clean as well when I before I go put it back together. Get this crap out of here. Here's another that. First things first, let's find the bits. Here's the plate. I actually found what's wrong. So I have to do this bolt back up again. I'll put it together. See this bracket arm here? Well, you notice that there should be another one here somewhere. Yeah, there. It's not there, it's gone. Now, when I actually looked at this piece, when I got this off, I took the side bolts out, I thought, well, one is really loose and this doesn't undo. The other side's in a stud, which undid fine, like it should do. Reason being, this is broken off. Sorry about the hands-free shaking, or hands shaking. Alright, so it's supposed to fit on there like that, and as you can see, it's broken off the stud there. That's what's wrong. So what I'm going to have to do is bolt that back together and roll that side there back on again. So the gears actually don't look too worn or anything like that. So I'll show you this piece. Sort of shakiness. I mean, they're alright. You know, there's a little bit of wear, but it's insignificant. It's actually pretty good. And on this gear here, it's also reasonable. You can see there's a little bit of wear just there in the middle tooth. Like there's a bit there. But it's alright. It's still there. So it shouldn't really be slipping. So I think what it is, because that bracket's broken, it's just moved it away. There you go, it's a bit better lighting. I'll give it a bit of a clean up, just very roughly with some degreasing spray stuff to get the worst of the gunk off it. So I'm going to weld those back together. We're using 1.6mm rod because that's the kind of size I'd quite like. So let's give it a go. Right, it's got a tack on there. It's not perfect, it's got a slight gap there. This time I have my hand underneath it in case it drips. Right, let's carry on. Put your heaps on there. Don't have to ever break ever again. It's not a particularly neat weld. In fact, it's pretty damn messy. Really not nice actually. Right, I think that's holding alright. You can see a bit more I can weld up there. Now I'll hit the other side and see what I can do there. Okay, I've got to bracket off there so I can get to the other side there and weld that as well. I'm actually tempted to increase the current very slightly. It is quite low and it's some thicker steel. So I was on 30 amps, I'm just going to go up to 50 amps now. Just so I can get a deeper weld. Right, that's it. That's it, rod gone. And hopefully it's done the job. I think I definitely got a deeper weld with that one anyway. That's good. So I was having a close look at this other one and it's actually started cracking as well. So I'm going to weld that one up too while I'm here, rather than wait for it to break. Right. Just do it like that. And I think I'll hit that side too, I think. Just to help it. Okay, very messy welding, but physically it'll be fine. Hope it doesn't fall apart. Okay, so I've got it mostly back together. I've still got to tighten up those nuts on the end of that shaft, the stair, the ones inside, which allow for the adjustment for the actual meshing, we want to call it. So to get in there, it's taking me about 20 minutes to put the bolts back in the side zigs. They're so awkward to get into because you've got to try and get the nuts underneath this plate. Now, under the side, holding it with one finger and get it threaded on and tightened up. Great fun. Anyway, we got there. So now I've got to basically lever that out, wedge that out so it's wedging up against hard, tighten those bolts up. And it should be okay. You can see I've got the steering wheel back on again. And it's all lined up ready to be in the right position. So I've just got to tighten it up. Then put the fuel tank and the battery back in again and hope for the best. Okay, I've got that tightened up now. The meshing's all good now. You can see it's got almost nothing there. It's a lot better. Now I can put the wrist back together. I was going to try and film it, but I couldn't get the camera laid up. There we go, it's all back together. No slipping, looking good. Happy with that. Subscribe, click the bell icon, that sort of stuff, share the video, and check out my other stuff too. I've got all kinds of weird repair stuff, not just electronics, but also like mechanical things like this. Check them out, automotive section. I've got a playlist for it. Thanks for watching, catch you later. Dirty hands.